Hey guys, in this video, I want to go over the importance on why every sales call in the remote sales niche has to be recorded. It's not open for discussion. It's not open for debate. If you're doing remote sales, do yourself a favor, do the company a favor, make sure every single call is recorded. And here's why. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Michael Sampson. I'm the Vice President of Inside Sales for Not Canada. We're Canada's largest reseller of telecommunication and home security services, and we're diving into different industries as well. But here's why you want to record, why you absolutely must record every single sales conversation. I remember vividly many times where I'd have a conversation with a customer. So, for example, in my niche, where I started off in remote sales, selling telecommunications, home security services on the phone to customers throughout the country of Canada, I would help them get, let's call it a security package. I would let them know multiple times throughout the presentation that, hey, you're gonna get XYZ amount of door and window sensors. So you're gonna get 4 door and window sensors, you're gonna get 1 motion sensor, you're gonna get 1 keyless entry door lock so you can lock and unlock your door. You're gonna get 1 video doorbell camera, so you have a camera at the front door and you could talk to whoever comes to the door. And you're gonna get an outdoor camera for the back of the house so that you have some surveillance. All of this is gonna be able to connect to your phone. You're gonna have a professionally monitored system, and you're gonna be able to basically keep an eye on your house wherever you are in the world. Are you clear with that, Mr. Customer? Customer will agree. He'll say, okay, let's go ahead, let's get this done. Send the technician over. Let's get this installed. So technician would go over to the house, and this happens in this specific niche. This happens quite a bit with specific demographics of customers. You know, we deal with, how do I say this and not be too disrespectful? We deal with people that are cheap as shit, and we deal with people that aren't as cheap as shit, but still cheap, and we deal with people that are understanding and respectful individuals. So technician goes to the house, technician's about to get started on the installation, and then the customer pipes up and says, oh, Mike told me I'm getting a doorbell outdoor, 3 indoor cameras, and an outdoor camera. I never knew it was just a doorbell and an outdoor camera. So here I am going along with my day, assisting my next customer. I get a call from the technician. Hey Mike, I'm sitting here with John or Jody or Miss Chan or Mr. Singh or whoever he's sitting down with. I'm sitting down with XYZ customer. According to them, they're saying that there should be 3 extra cameras in this package. And by the way, at the time, if I added 3 extra cameras and they didn't agree to pay for it extra, then it comes out of your commission and you're essentially working for free when it's all said and done. So I scratch my head, I'm like, that's funny. Can you put me on speaker and get Mr. Singh or Mr. Joseph near to the phone here so we could have a conversation? Calls the customer, puts me on speaker, and then again, I have every sales call recorded for multiple reasons, but I want to make this is the first reason. We go to the call recording, we press play, and it's clear as day. You hear me on the phone saying, all right, Joseph, we're getting the IQ panel, we're getting 4 sensors, we're getting the motion sensor, we're getting the doorbell, we're getting the outdoor camera. That's the package. Does that make sense? Yes, that makes sense. Excellent. So when we play that, what happens? The customer shuts the hell up. They start sweating profusely, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not there to actually physically see what's going on with them, but I can only imagine they're like, okay, yeah, he did say that. And yeah, the customer is just like, okay, oh, sorry, I forgot. My apologies, my apologies. But when you're in an industry where sales is like this, the customer is always right. You need to save your ass at all costs, right? You always, for legality purposes, to save your reputation, save the company's reputation, always make sure that the call is recorded. So that's example number one. Example number two, why you want to have all calls recorded, similar kind of thing. I remember vividly dealing with, and this has happened with multiple customers, and it's not because I'm doing my job wrong, it's just some buyers are liars. Some buyers are going to try to, and again, take this with a grain of salt because this is for this specific niche. However, regardless of the niche you're in, every call should still be recorded for multitude of purposes that we're getting into. But another example, I help the customer, I tell them the same thing, hey, you're getting this, this, and this in your package. Are you cool with that? Okay, great. Awesome, let's get this done. So this time, the installation of the service gets installed. So the customer is happy with the product and service. They're looking at the app, they're seeing the cameras, there's no issues at all. A day after the installation, I get a call from corporate. Now, in this specific niche, we're partnered up with one of Canada's most premier, biggest brand in telecommunication, literally one of the biggest brands in telecommunication, which could be a good and a bad thing. The bad thing is they take every little thing like this with huge urgency. Why? Because they're trying to protect their brand, which I totally understand. But anyways, back to the story. So I get a call from corporate, the people doing retention and basically managing, making sure the deals are clean or whatever. Hey, Mike, we have one of your customers on the other line. They're saying that they should have gotten this, this, and this, extra 3-4 cameras or extra sensors, but they were only installed this certain package. And whenever I get those calls, I laugh. I'm kind of annoyed, but I laugh and I say, okay, so let me get this straight. You're going to side with the customer, and I say this respectfully, but you're going to side with the customer after they've already been installed and they're requesting more equipment. Do you not think they would have addressed that with the technician when he or she was there installing the product? Number one, they're like, yeah, okay, good point. And then number two, it's like, okay, well, all my calls are recorded, so let me go open the call and let's listen to this together and let's see who's in the right, who's in the wrong. Again, dealing in this niche, in this industry, the customer is always right. And I've seen many times before where this situation happens, and because that sales rep never had a recording where it's clear as day saying, this is the package, this is the price, this is the terms, and this is the commissions, they fire the hell out of the representative. Again, it's not fair, but this is why we're having this conversation today. So anyways, I play the recording, they hear me saying everything I need to say, and the terms and conditions are correct. They're like, okay, cool, we'll tell the customer to F off, and that's that. That's done. So that's the second major reason. Now, the third reason why you want to have all your calls recorded, and this is the money maker. This is how you go from bad to good, good to great, and great to friggin' excellent. The last reason is because if you're having, let's say you're not closing at a higher standard. So in our industry, you should be closing minimum 25% of the qualified lead, minimum 25%. That's minimum. Like a lot of us have higher closes, but I'd say that's probably industry average with the remote sales, 25%. So for example, if your closing rate has dropped and you have all your sales calls recorded, you're able to go back to those conversations. And again, only the serious people are going to do this, or only the people that are involved in companies that really want to excel and really want to dominate are going to do this. And I still do this with my reps today. A young gentleman that we hired on not long ago, he was struggling with his closing. And that's the first thing I did. I'm like, okay, we're going to review your last 10 calls. Let's see where we're losing these people. Like, are you not confident enough on the phone? Are you not reading certain cues? Are you not handling certain... There's a multitude of reasons, but back to the point. we have all these calls recorded. So you're able to basically analyze the game tape. So another sports analogy here, big thing in basketball, they'll review their game tape from the games prior before, or they'll review their competition's game tapes and know, okay, this player is going to be at this part of the court. In order to not get him the ball, we need to be here. They're anticipating, and this is how you get anticipation on your side, by reviewing previous experiences and knowing how things are going to unfold. So back to our conversation here, by having these calls recorded, you're able to look back on the conversations and to make course adjustments. So with this young gentleman, what we notice is that a lot of the people weren't really closed, if that makes sense. Like, they were just saying yes to get him off the phone. Like, they weren't solid, okay, when's this getting installed? When's this gonna happen? So the first step of change is awareness, and he wouldn't have been aware if we never had the calls recorded so we could review that. So now that he was aware, we made that little adjustment where, hey, before you book this installation, we're gonna reconfirm, reiterate what they're getting, re-get the commitment, and then let's see what happens. And then from there, he's closing at a good percent where he should be at after making those adjustments. So there you have it, guys. Those are 3 of the main reasons why every call needs to be recorded. And I get so much joy. I don't know what it is. I might be a petty individual, but yeah, I am a little petty. There's nothing more satisfying than me getting a call from corporate or from the customer and having them say, hey, I was promised this, or hey, this isn't included in the package. And then I go, okay, let's listen, play, you hear everything I say, and then you hear the dead silence on the other end of the phone because they're just like, oh, okay, well, I guess that wasn't the case. So that's pretty funny. And in some cases, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. Some rare amount of times, they genuinely did forget, right? They genuinely did forget that they were promised this kind of package or promised what's included in the service. And if you're doing this for objection handling training, something that, and I can't believe I almost forgot this, something that was absolutely massive in my remote sales career, because guys, I absolutely sucked at this. By nature, I'm introverted, I was shy, I had a lot of personal problems that showed up in my business problems, so a lot of shit going on in my head that I had to really, I was a work in progress, and I'm still a work in progress. But because I was sucking so much and I wasn't closing, I would review my conversations, whether that was when I was doing remote sales or when I was doing door-to-door sales. I would write down the objections. And yeah, I would review the sales conversations in my head or on the phone and then write down whatever objections. Customer didn't buy because he wanted to think about it. Customer didn't buy because the pricing was too much. Customer didn't buy because he wants to shop around. Customer didn't buy because he wasn't serious. I would write down all the objections that I would get in any single day. And I would either go to one of my higher ups, one of the sales managers that were doing exceptional, had an amazing track record, knows how to close deals, or look at my sales manual, old school. We had a 100-page manual that had objections and all that. And I would ask him, hey, what do I need to say when the customer tells me this, right? And the sales manager would say, well, you know, instead of saying this is the price, what you want to do is phrase it like this, and then there you go. And then all I have to do is practice that knee-jerk reaction of that rebuttal, of that conversation. And now I know exactly what to say when I hear that certain objection. And that little key right there, that's how you go from good to great. Making sure that you know, because the customer's only gonna hit you with, depending on what niche and what industry, there's only so many objections you could hear. So really, you just have to become a master at a few conversations. Usually in any, I can guarantee in any niche, it's, I need to think about it. You're gonna hear that regardless of what you're selling. The price is too much. I need to talk to my wife. I need to research. And those are pretty much the 4 common bullshit excuses. I shouldn't say excuses. Sometimes they're legitimate, but those are the 4 things you're gonna hear from niche to niche, industry to industry. So guys, I hope that helps. That's why you need to have every sales call recorded if you're doing remote sales. And the nice thing is, you don't have to go out and personally buy some third-party software as a sales representative to make sure that these calls are recorded. No, every company that's a legitimate and serious company will have these softwares in place where the call is automatically being recorded with the out-dialing system. If you're closing over Zoom, there's just a button you have to press and it records everything. So not to worry, this isn't an added expense on the sales representative's end. This is something that will come standard regardless of what niche or what industry you're in. So hope that helps, and until next time guys, I'll catch you on the next video.